those ones.
Good morning, Vicki. How are you?
Good morning, Miss Renee. I'm good. You just about caught me in the middle of a glasses change.
Oh,
Got my blingy ones on.
how was your weekend?
Well, it was pretty good. We had the chicken chicks out here checking on their chickens. And of course, my husband leaves in the morning telling me, do not go in the sun. And so what do I do? But I go plant potatoes in the sun. And of course, it takes me the rest of the day to cool off. So, but all in all, it was a great weekend because it was nice and warm. Thank God for air conditioning. I am not a heat lover. So how about your weekend? You're camping still.
We're still camping, yes.
Oh.
We're in Fairmont Hot Springs, and it's beautiful. I think the fullest the campsite got was about 10 campers. So it's nice. And then we had so many deer here. Like the deer just come and they lay right in front of your motorhome or your trailer and they're sun tanning. We only had 2 bears so far. So usually we see more bears here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Black bears?
Black bears, yes.
Yeah.
So last night I heard something behind the motorhome, so I think there was probably something in behind there anyway.
You didn't get up and check?
No.
Huh. Weak heart.
I didn't leave any food. We don't leave any food outside. So
well, no, of course not. You can't afford to do that. But my husband's been pouting around here because he figures that we should see bears every spring, and I'm good with that. You know, I think it was the 2nd or 3rd year that we moved into this property. He was up helping Brian and Taylor on Yankee Flats, and I kid you not, the biggest cream-colored bear. It looked like a polar bear. That's how big and rangy it was. Walked right in front of my kitchen window. I was just about had a heart attack, and I was inside.
I have never seen a bear that color.
I know, and that was the odd part. And he was big and ugly, like he was not a pretty bear, you know, where black bears are kind of. And he was white with kind of brownish or creamy tips, like typically like a polar bear. And I know it's not a polar bear, but still, that's the look that he had. And he was big and rangy. He wasn't in very good shape. Well, I nearly had a heart attack. He went over to the tree that Ed had hung a bucket. He's the great white hunter, you know. So he goes over to the tree and he climbs up on his back feet and he looks in the bucket and swats the bucket because there was nothing in it. Ed had dead squawfish and stuff from the river in it to catch him. And of course, every time the bear comes by, he's not home.
Oh.
So then he come back and he wandered down, and I'm trying to get Ed on the phone. Like I said, it was very traumatic. I lived.
That's good. But yes, I'm kind of in this pre-training for retirement. So we've been here 7 days. We're going to stay another day and then head home. I think I really miss camping. It's kind of glamming though for us.
Yeah.
In the motorhome.
I have, well, of course, that's like some people's idea of a hotel.
Yes.
I love camping, but I only love camping in a motorhome.
Yeah.
So that's not really camping, they tell me, but I'm already past that place where I really do quite like staying at home. Although I have to say this gets to our subject that we were going to talk about today, is seniors or over 50 retirement and sadness. And there's all I just am aware all of a sudden of all kinds of reasons why sadness or depression can be so prevalent in our age group.
I see it a little bit just because I'm just getting to the point of slowly retiring.
Yeah.
But I realized that I had all these dreams that when I retired, I'd start working on my bucket list and everything else. But then I kind of realized, like we talked about before, to have the motorhome, you have to have the money to insure the motorhome.
Yeah.
And then when I'm gone, and I'm finding that I thought in my head that when I retired, I would spend so much more time with my children and my grandchildren. But what I didn't think about is they're moving on with their life too. Like they don't have as much time for me as I thought they would.
Well, yeah. And sometimes I think that's a huge one and the older we get, the more prevalent it is, I don't know if it's inconsiderate grown children or if it's just a self-centeredness that goes with a sense of entitlement that we have in today's world compared to yesterday's world. I made a little list the other day about some of the causes, because when you think about retiring, you have this kind of sugar rush. You can hardly wait.
Yes.
When it gets here, you go, oh my God, is this all there is? Like, now you're putting up with your husband 24/7, which you haven't had to do. And maybe he worked away, and so it was even worse. And if he's in your face 24/7, you go, okay, how am I going to allow him to live and still stay married with him? So there's that. And these are some of the causes that I have seen happening too. So bereavement, lack of purpose, an inadequate physical activity. I think that's really relevant. And here's another one: insufficient funds for retirement.
Yes.
Well, we've talked about that before too. A loss of family connection and involvement. And for me, it's really relevant in my world because I at times have a volatile relationship with my son. And so on the one hand, we're totally involved, speaking daily, including each other in, plans, fishing, camping, blah, blah, blah. And the next minute, it's like the iceberg sitting out there all by yourself, and you go, oh, hey, wait a minute. What happened? So there, those kind of things. And of course, right now, this isolation that everybody is starting to feel and rebel about, that has to play a big, huge part of things. Poor health is another one. People get, we're just not as healthy as we were. So here we've been waiting for this retirement to come, and you're going to do all these 101 things. And guess what? You pull a muscle and can't walk, or
yes, like my groin muscle that I just pulled.
that's what I'm thinking of. And it happened to me a few years ago too. And I mean, you got to experience that. And stairs are the very worst.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I was going up and down stairs. It'd take me half an hour to get up and half an hour to get down. Doesn't really matter which way you're going because I was quilting, and of course I've got stairs in my basement, right? So, and I'm sure you've found that too.
Yes. Well, and for me, I have always thrived on a tight schedule. That I thrive. I need to be needed all the time, and I like that tight schedule. And I think one of the biggest things that surprised me is now all of a sudden my schedule is opening up. I have so much more time, but I'm not sure if I like it. It's an adjustment.
That's right.
It's an adjustment I really didn't think of happening.
Well, for a few years there, I had a real, mind you, in retirement, somebody asked us one time, like, how do you like being retired now? And I said, Jesus, we've never worked so hard. If that man doesn't quit building things, like we built 3 places since we moved here. From scratch. Like, you got to put in the hydro, you got to put in the well, you got to put in everything. If he doesn't stop soon, we need to recycle and have another young life because there's nothing left. Like, blah. Anyway, and daily routine is another one. I had a thought there that I just lost. Being forced to downsize is another thing, right? Like that can be a source of, you don't want to, but yet you have to because you can't look after it. And if you don't have kids that are willing to help, and you don't want to ask, that's for sure.
No, and they have their own families now.
Well, of course they do. Yeah, and that's their priority. It also is yours. Like for most of us, right? Some grandparents aren't as involved, but I only have 2, and I absolutely adore them. And they're teenagers, both teenagers. So then there's another gap again opening up, right?
Well, I think one of the biggest things is trying to find something you're passionate about, something that will take up your time, because to me, life is a passion. My passion was work. Now my passion is kind of working online, and this Zooming, I don't really like to look at myself, but I love to look at other people like you and everything else. So it's kind of getting with new technology too. I think it's the new normal.
Well, I do too. And I mean, this brings to mind what kind of things can you do if you're feeling down, right? I had traded for a while. I had traded, instead of competing in the horse world, I started going with my trailer and staying at a friend's, and we'd ride for a week, or I'd go to clinics and help the clinician, or I'd hold clinics, or that kind of thing. So it was, involved somewhat. Then that was getting to be too hectic. So I started quilting, and that was a whole new community of people, which I think, interacting and being involved, Renee, is really what it is. And you are much more gregarious than I am, but we all still need that stimulation.
Yes.
So now one of my favorite things to do is this bloody online business, because I think it's the biggest community yet. So either whatever you choose, like I think about, people could be coaches, right? They could teach something that they became good at, or some way of interacting with other people. And of course, nowadays it's pretty much Zoom. I'll learn how to Zoom.
Yes. But I think you're right. I think retirement shouldn't be just sitting there. And for me, this online business, it did help, because I have spending money, which I guess I wanted to retire so I could golf and do these things, but these things cost money.
Yeah.
So now I make the money so I can pay for these extra little activities. The downside is, yes, you can't golf when you pulled your groin muscle.
No, I think you're supposed to behave, and some of us don't know how to do that.
But I can work online and interact with people even while I'm camping.
Yeah. And like we talk about hobbies that we love to do. And somebody said to me, this weekend, I spent just about the whole weekend. All right, how am I going to word this? Not passing on what I know, because I don't know that much, but helping others, do some things that I've discovered, which is, when you consider my age compared to some, I seriously can't believe I can still do some of the things I can do. So somebody just beeped me, and then I lost my train of thought. What is that? It's an email notification, right? So,
yes.
So I don't know, this, and being able to help somebody and feel so good about it that's the interaction. You don't have to be sitting at a table with someone to feel involved and needed, or that you can contribute, which anytime you're contributing, you're not feeling the sadness that comes with isolation, right?
I think that is, and we're constantly learning new things, and we learn from each other. We learn step by step. Sometimes I got to start at the beginning again, because I have this little joke that there's so much in here, it slips out the back, and it's slipping quite often.
Yeah. And the older you get, the more it slips, but it's because there's so much, right? Like it just,
right.
Yeah. No, I get that.
The biggest thing in life is, I think you need to have something. You have to have some sort of purpose.
Well, and they talk about volunteering, and there's certainly nothing wrong with that. But this is part of this. For me, I get to check off every box. Every bloody box I've got, I get to check off with this. And so we go, how about that?
I'm loving this life. And I am so grateful that I found this online thing, so I can keep learning and keep smiling, keep laughing, and keep helping others.
Yeah.
Makes me feel good.
Yeah, I agree. So, have I got anything else I needed to say here? I've been pretty blabby today.
I know.
Yeah. Got control over my life again. That'll work.
It works.
So you can just go home finally and quit enjoying life so much where you are and become a couch potato to heal up.
I know, but I'm pretty much liking this Fairmont Hot Springs. It's really good to heal up.
Oh,
Mineral water is great.
I see.
And a little bit of nature, some deer, some sunshine.
Did you bring a lot of our magic water with you or no?
Actually, you know what? I have a machine in my motorhome.
Oh,
So
okay.
I never go without it.
Good girl. Great idea. Yeah.
So a lot of the other family members that we met here camping for a week on and off, they come to our motorhome to fill up their water.
Good deal. Okay, that works.
Yeah.
Hey, I never thought of that, but that's a perfect idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because when there was no COVID, we were living in here for 5 months out of the year. Just for 1 year, just our first year to try it out. And honestly, I think this is crazy. I didn't want to kill my husband. I can live in the motorhome for 5 months. It was great. But I honestly think it's because I have this online escape.
Well, it could be. You know, when we first moved down here, it was in 93, and my husband and I had been separated for a period of time. So, and then he finally really retired. So between living on your own for a few years and him retiring and being in my face 24/7, and we're living in it, it was a big fifth wheel, but still a fifth wheel while we're building this big log home when we first moved down here. Honest to God, I didn't think I was going to make it. I thought, well, what the hell have I done? Like, oh, he's every time I turn around, there he is, you know.
Well, we did 5 months. It was great. So I'm hoping whenever we can travel again, I'm hoping to do another 5 months.
Well, yeah, I don't know how much traveling I like doing anymore, but good for you that you're thoroughly enjoying it.
Well, Vicki, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to go off to the hot pool.
Okay, you do that.
So you have a fabulous day.
Thank you. You too. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.